I want to take a few minutes and talk to you about the appointment process. What happens at the client's house. There's really four main pieces to it. There's the lead-in step, the investigation step, the show and sell step, and the tie-down step. Often I find with the lead-in step, salespeople rush right past it. They don't spend enough time connecting with the clients. So for the next few minutes, I want to go through the lead-in step and really outline what this looks like in terms of making that connection. Now the lead-in step at the listing appointment is designed to build rapport and take control. Please understand that the clients are very nervous about you coming over to investigate their house and their life. It's like you're putting them under a microscope. So they're a little suspicious and a little cautious and a little nervous about this whole thing. Even if they've sold a house once, twice, or maybe 3 times in the past, it's been a few years since they've done this and things have changed. So they're a little nervous about going through this whole exercise. And that often comes through in terms of our conversations with them. They can be a little stoic and a little bit distant. We really need to break those barriers down. So let's take a look at the steps that are going to help you do just that. First thing I do when you get to the front door, I'd ring the doorbell. And when that door opens, make sure you smile. It's one of the few things in life when you meet somebody who can't afford to give you theirs, give them yours. It doesn't cost you anything, and automatically, subconsciously, it puts them at ease. They become more relaxed. You got to think, they've had dialogue before you've arrived. The husband's talked to the wife, and they've said to each other, honey, be careful what you say tonight, and we're not signing anything. We'll listen to what he's got to suggest, and then we're going to take a few minutes or a few days and assess his information. But we're not signing anything. So they're standing at the door waiting for your 7 o'clock appointment with this look of skepticism on your face. If you're nervous, unprepared, or not ready for this appointment, you're going to ring that doorbell and they're going to pick up on that negative energy. And with their negative energy and your negative energy, you're only going to compound the situation and make it worse. So make sure you're prepared and be ready to knock their socks off and wow them. So when that door opens, make sure you smile. And then you need to introduce yourself and pay them a sincere compliment. It's one of those few things in life I would say to you from a sales perspective that really helps you connect with people. You may want to try things like, did you guys do the landscaping out front? Your house looks magnificent. Or you could be standing in the foyer and say, are you an interior decorator? I can't wait to see the rest of the house. Now, I've been in real estate a long time, and I can tell you, often we find ourselves in houses that you can't find anything to compliment them on. Sometimes people say to you, take off your shoes and come on in, and you look down at the carpets and you think, why am I being punished? But you got to always find something nice to say. And you're not here to judge them or how they live. You're here to sell their house. And at the end of the day, I don't care how tough something is, if it's priced right, you can always collect a commission check and help your clients with the move. So here's my suggestion to this situation. If you ever find yourself in a position and you're struggling to find the compliment, just say something like this. Just before we begin, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'd like to let you know how much I appreciate the opportunity to come over tonight. This week, and just about every week, I speak to literally hundreds of people on the phone. And when I was talking to you guys, I want you to know by far you were the nicest people I spoke to this week, and I was really looking forward to our appointment. I know it sounds a little thick, but at the same time, it really puts them at ease. And they're going to say to you right off the bat, leave your shoes on and let's have a look around the outside. Who's taking control of this appointment? They have. And they need to see that you're in control of this appointment. It could be a test for you. I'd say to you at this point, well, I'll tell you what, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I have a bit of a process I like to follow. I don't want to miss anything that could affect the value, and I'm assuming we want to get as much for this house as we possibly can, am I right? Client says, absolutely. You say, well, let's do this first. Let's go to the kitchen table. We'll spend a few minutes doing some chit-chat, and I'll get a sense about what you're up to and where you want to go. And then we'll take a minute or two after that and have a look at the house. Now, we always go to the kitchen table. It's the heart of the home. You can't do a listing presentation in the living room. He's in the easy boy chair, she's in the love seat, and you're in the sofa, and you're trying to use the coffee table as your presentation platform. It just doesn't work. The kitchen is the heart of the home. It's where mom and dad make all their major decisions. So you say to them, if it's okay with you, let's go into the kitchen. I can spread all my stuff out on the table and we'll be relaxed there. Take a moment now at this point when you sit down and turn off your cell phone. Say to them, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, our appointment this evening is important and I don't want to get disturbed. I do want to say, if you ever call me and I don't call you back right away, it's because I'm on another appointment with some really nice people just like yourself. But I'm very good at returning my phone calls in a timely manner. So if you can give me a few minutes, I'm never 45 minutes or an hour away from giving you a call back. And I promise you, 99 times out of 100, I'll answer the phone when you ring. But let me just shut this off right now because I don't want to be disturbed. And they're thinking to themselves, how nice is this? The agent we had in last night, right in the middle of the presentation, took a phone call. This person is saying to us that our time is very important to him, and that feels good to them. Take a few minutes now and learn to small talk smart. Just chat to them about the things they like to do when they're not selling houses. The icebreaker or the dialogue for this is, listen, before we begin, could you take a few minutes and just share with me what you folks like to do when you're not selling houses? And they'll talk to you about their kids or grandkids. They'll talk to you about their hobbies or their interests. And the reason we do this is to help break the ice, bring down those barriers. And when they're talking to you and you can really feel a sense that they're warming up to us, then it's time to transition into the investigation step. But if you go to the investigation step too soon, you won't have built rapport with them. And you're going to create an environment where the other agents have a level playing field. Really connect with your clients. Take a few minutes at the front end of the appointment to get to know them and get a real sense of what's important about them. It'll help you develop instincts. So then when we get to that point, you really feel the comfort level setting in. You say, you know what, I'm really enjoying our conversation, but you did get me over to talk about real estate. Maybe we should switch gears, shouldn't we? And that's going to be your cue to move to the investigation step.